Hey everyone, this is Mad Hatter here with I believe it's the seventh iteration, the seventh video, update video, um, on the Frankenstrat body here. Um, it is almost finished. Uh, I finished putting the final coat of Z-epoxy on, and I sanded it down with some 400, here it is, 400 grain sandpaper. Reason why I did that was to make sure that the paint sticks on the surface of the body of the guitar, because as you all know, I mean, if you don't rough up the body, the paint's not going to stick very well. It's kind of like a Velcro effect, I guess. So what you want to do is you want to take the 400 grain sandpaper and sand the body of the guitar. Um, what I did was I sanded it one way, and then I went back and I sanded it another way, kind of like crisscross. And I sanded both sides plus the edges. I may do it again just in case. And then after I was done sanding the body of the guitar, I took a clean rag, or you can also take a piece of paper towel and fold it in half, and then fold it again, and then fold it over. So that way you got pretty good padding there. And then what I did was I took some naphtha right here, and I put some of that on the paper towel. I just some tops you have to like twist and then take a screwdriver and put it in like a little slot here. There's a slot in this right there. So you gotta kind of like twist the top and then pop it open with the screwdriver. But besides that, you just take and dab some naphtha on your paper towel, and then wipe the guitar body clean. Get all of the sanded residue off the body of the guitar. And I also kind of like lightly sanded inside all of the uh, cavities also. And I kind of lightly sanded inside this cavity here too. I mean, I did put some Z epoxy in there too. I suppose you didn't have to, but I did. So I also did the back, so that's nice and sanded and stuff. It still has a shiny glare to it, so I still might re-sand it again and clean it off. But the acetone is to what I use that for is to clean off the razor blades to get all that oil residue off of the razor. And a couple days ago, I took a tone knob, very similar to this tone knob right here. Well, it's pretty much the same thing. And I took one of these little ramekin cups and filled it up with water all the way up to the bottom of the rim here. And I put 10 drops of this vintage amber. If it will come into focus there. It won't come into focus. It's a vintage amber liquid stain that I got from Stu Mac. And I put 10 drops of that in the cup. And I dropped the tone knob into it and let it soak for probably about 30, 40 minutes. But what I did was I took some of this 400 grain sandpaper and I roughed it up a little bit on the top and on the sides here over the numbers and on the serrated edge right here. I don't know if you can see that, but it won't. There, see? On that serrated edge. Okay, so I roughed it up with some sandpaper and I dropped it in that cup of liquid stain. And after I was done with that, I saved some coffee grounds. I've seen this on YouTube. People put it in coffee grounds. But an extra step is I put a couple of drops of this liquid stain in the coffee grounds in a Ziploc bag. So I took like coffee grounds of 2 pots of coffee. So there was a lot of coffee grounds in that little Ziploc bag. And I took the tone knob and I dropped it in to that bag and zipped it up and shook it up and let that soak overnight. Now, it's not as dark as you might think it would be, but I think that it did a pretty good job in getting the color right to where it looks aged. Let me hold that up there right quick. Okay, so on the left of your screen, you can see the tone knob that has not been touched. On the right of your screen, it looks yellowed. Let me see if I can get closer there. It's all yellowed. Kind of like a hazy yellow. And then there's the one that's not been touched. So I think it turned out pretty good. Now, when you're using the naphtha or the acetone or laying the Z-epoxy down on the body, let me turn this camera a little bit here. Whoop. You want to go out. You don't have to buy a whole big box, but you can get like a little bag of these rubber gloves. And there's like 25 in here. I think in the big box there's like 100 or something like that, and they cost like $20 a box. I got this for like, I don't know, $7 or something like that. I walked into like a Lowe's and got them for like $7, and they work pretty well. But I used those gloves with either the liquid stain or the Z epoxy, because the liquid stain, of course, it's going to stain your fingers. The Z epoxy, after you've got both sides done, you got like a couple of uh, coats of Z epoxy on either side. Um, some of the other areas, like around the sides here, you want to do with your finger, your finger, and rub it in to the outside edges and the side here of the guitar. So you want to have your gloves on because that Z epoxy hardens pretty good, and so that's the reason why for the rubber gloves. Um, when you're putting the liquid stain on the body of the guitar, you want to get yourself. I got a good brush. I want a brush that wouldn't shed when you're putting the liquid stain on. So I got a brush here. I can't remember how much I paid for it. It was kind of expensive, but I got a good brush, and I didn't want it to shed on the guitar while I was putting liquid stain on. So I went out and got this 1-inch brush. This 1-inch brush. I went out and got this, and I got a couple of other brushes of the same style, and they're smaller, and those are going to be used to do some of the work on the cavities here and stuff like that. So I got that, and this is kind of like an overview of what I've been doing in the past videos to kind of catch you up and get everything all set up. It is pretty much ready um, to start painting. I'm probably going to go back and resand both sides and around the edges of the guitar and stuff like that, just to make sure so the paint will stick to this. Um, as you can see, I have very limited workspace here. I wish I had a bigger area, but this does me just fine. I'm able to work here and get everything done. It doesn't matter to me just as long as this guitar comes out the way I would expect it to. I also another thing is that I left some imperfections from the Z epoxy on the body of this guitar because we all know that Eddie's guitar wasn't perfect either. It had a lot of imperfections in it. Also, it had the knot like around here, so that was a huge imperfection. But his body wasn't perfect either. It had imperfections in it also. So therefore, I also left some imperfections in the body of the guitar due to the Z epoxy and stuff like that. So, I'm not making it perfect, but I'm just one of those people who like to make sure that things are done right and well, as right as humanly possible, and to make this, because this is pretty much a work of art. The way I look at it. So I'm trying to make this as best that I can. So I guess that's about it. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them down in the comment section. Also, go ahead and subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet. It does help out the channel. Um, Hit that like button and ring my bell so you'll know when the next video comes up. And um, it shouldn't be too far. It's still a little cool outside to start painting this. My awesome wife, she went out and she bought me a paint tent, and she got um, a soldering gun with all the other necessary things with it and stuff like that. So she's behind me on this project also. And coming up after I get the body done and get my neck will probably be one of the following videos. Also, there'll be videos on me assembling the pick guard. I have the pick guard right here, as a matter of fact, the whole pick guard. And my wife couldn't believe I did this, but I went out and spent $29 on a pick guard that I'm only going to be using this much of. So, I got that coming up in the later videos, and how to put this has got shielding on the back, but the shielding I'm putting on is going to be covering up all these holes, just like in Eddie's guitar. So when you flip it around, you're going to see the sticky part of the shielding through these holes, and those are going to be dirtied up also. Plus, there's got to be another hole here for the potentiometer that I have. It's a 500K potentiometer, Eddie Van Halen style. So I got one of those to place in here, plus the tone knob, which doesn't look actually too bad when you hold it right up against the black there. If it'll come into focus. Focus. It won't come into focus. But anyway, it doesn't look too bad. I might do a little bit more work on it though. But other than that, that's about it. I do have prior videos on some of my work. So that's it. So thank you very much for watching, and hope to see some of your comments down below. Take it easy, and you guys have a good night. Bye bye.